I'm 106 days into this journey now. And every single day, my eyes just open up more and more about everything. I become more knowledgeable every day about everything. And I look around, I see a lot of short people. People who are not tall, short men, right? But you're not a man, you're a child. If you are short, it's time to grow up. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? If you're short, just give up. There's there's no light at the end of the tunnel. There is nothing that you can do to, better your life. It is just completely over for you. You should have realized that when you were younger and done everything in your power to grow when you were a kid. You should have been working at 13 years old, grinding it out so then you can get the proper nutrition and rest in and get the proper sunlight in and grow and tell your parents, no, this is, how I want to eat. This is proper nutrition. And of course you had, all the information when you were a kid. The internet was around when you were a kid and you just did nothing with it. I'm obviously just trolling. I'm short myself. But imagine having that mentality. Like, oh, you're short, so you should give up. Like, what kind of loser mentality is that? I'm about 5'3", 5'4" on a good day. But I don't let that, hold me back. I don't let that determine who I'm supposed to become, what I'm supposed to do. That has nothing to do with anything. Maybe it does make my life a bit harder. Maybe my life would be a bit easier if I were a bit taller. But what am I supposed to do? Just, rely on just looking at the past and being like, oh man, I could have grown more. Oh man, what if I was this tall? What if, that hyper fixation on who you're not even supposed to be? Be proud of who you are, but maximize every attribute about you. If you're shorter, you better be locked in. I'm telling you right now, you better be locked in. You better be locked in the gym. You better try to look more handsome. Just, get the proper haircut. Just figure out your style. Get real charismatic. Get real funny. You're going to have to max out a lot of your stats. I'm telling you right now. And if you do that, you'll be all right. You'll be fine. You can compete with just people who are taller. It's really not that big of a deal when it comes to the dating market. Usually, as long as you're taller than your girl, usually that shit don't matter. I'm telling you right now, to all the short people out there who may think it's over for them because they're short. I mean, if you're younger, do everything in your power to try to grow, because most of the time it comes down to proper nutrition, right? But if you're past that point and your growth plates are closed, accept who you are in that certain way. That's one thing that you cannot change, right? So don't hyperfixate on that, right? And this is just an overall lesson in life in general. It's not just about being short, or I'm not just talking to short people, but no matter what, you should just do everything in your power to maximize your potential. If you're tall or short, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you start from. It doesn't matter your starting point, or none of that matters. All that matters is that you try harder and you try to become a better version of yourself. You try to become a more righteous person, a more heroic person. If that's your path, if that's your journey, try to just do the right things for yourself in order to grow and maximize your own potential. Try everything for yourself. Try if you don't work out, you should be working out. If you're not trying to make more money, what are you doing? You're going to need it regardless, especially nowadays with, how the economy and, AI and all that is going. You're going to need money in the future, especially if you want some sort of family life or stuff like that, marriage and all that, right? So you should just do everything in your power to maximize your potential every single day. That's why I'm on this sort of journey, man, because I know that it will max out my potential. It will max out my creativity. It will max out my luck andrometer in order for me to actually make so much progress in my life that I can look back at myself in a year's time, truly look back and see how much I've changed, and truly, for the first time in my life, be proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished within a year's time. And then that's going to motivate me and give me the momentum to do better next year, because I'll have that, that mind shift that I'm capable of doing this now. I'm capable of actually changing my life, and that will carry me on forward for the rest of my life. So it only takes really a year to try everything in your power to change your goddamn motherfucking life. And it's up to you. Nobody's gonna come around and save you. Nobody's gonna hold your hand. Nobody's gonna tickle your ball sack. I mean, maybe some bitches, but nobody's gonna, nobody's gonna help you out, okay? Besides yourself. You have to understand that from the start. And nobody's supposed to help you out. Nobody's supposed to just tell you, oh yeah, you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job. Like you're not a kid anymore. You've grown up. And now it's your time to realize that you are the leader in your life. You are the man in your life. So you have to become the person who can direct yourself. So then you can direct other people. So then you can lead other people to their own potential and their own greatness. But you have to fix yourself first. You have to be real fucking selfish in this process. If you have to move away from your hometown, move away from your family, not go to too many family events anymore, really just work a couple jobs at a time, really just grind out, YouTube or music or whatever creative endeavor that you may want to try out, business endeavor, whatever. If you really want to win, you're going to have to sacrifice everything. You're going to have to sacrifice way more than you think right now. And most people are not going to be able to actually sacrifice everything, sacrifice everything. They're not going to be able to do that. They think they will be able to. It sounds good, and maybe they can do it for, a week or a couple weeks. But you have to do this for a long period of time, at bare minimum. A fucking year to see any sort of progress. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to come quick. It's not going to come easy. No, it's going to come with a lot of just grinding in silence until just the entire world catches up with you. Until the entire world starts to understand who you are, because you've been putting in the work and building in the darkness. And then all of a sudden, it's going to seemingly look like you just blew up out of nowhere. Like you just came from out of nowhere and you just spawned in like this. When no, you've been getting better and better and better for years and years and years and maybe even a decade. And then now you finally get your big break because you're ready for the opportunity. You've put in all the pain and you're not afraid of failure or anything like that anymore. So when that opportunity comes about, you're ready to strike, and then you perform. And then you just keep on going with that momentum, and you just keep outperforming everyone. And then the entire world catches up with you. I'm telling you, this is always how it goes. And then they'll wonder how. They'll wonder, how did he do it? I thought he was this type of person. How did he do all this? And then at that point, you're just running laps around everybody and nobody can keep up because you were grinding when there seemed to be no benefit of grinding, you know? These YouTube videos are a prime example of that, you know? I've been doing this for a long time, consistently. I mean, not really a long time, consistently, but a long time in general. I've been doing this on and off for maybe 5 years of making, YouTube videos. But for the past couple months now, I've been real consistent with it because of semen retention. It makes you lock the fuck in. But I've been real consistent with these videos, and I've been getting better and better and better and better. I've been able to convey my message a lot better in every single one of my videos. And I critique myself after every video, and I'm like, is that a good video? And yeah, I feel real proud of like every single video that I put out. And even if I don't, I put it out anyways, and then I make sure I do so much better the next day and just keep on crushing it and just keep on carrying on, But this channel is, a good example of that. I was talking to myself for a long period of time, what felt like forever. I was pretty much talking to myself. I was getting no views, but I was just getting better with making content. In my mind already, I was somebody who was a YouTuber. I made YouTube videos. I knew how to talk to the camera. And then that just led me to put this into my routine and just do it anyways. Because this is what I would be doing if I were a YouTuber. So then, okay, I'm just doing what that future version of myself would be doing anyways. And then, reality will just catch up with you in that sense. And now I'm getting a little bit more traction, day after day, slowly but surely. But I'm actually, talking to people now. Now it's not just me. I'm building something now. And, I always knew it would start to get to this point, and it's just going to keep on going because I'm going to keep on going. I feel like this unstoppable force that this is only the beginning of my creation, and it all stems from semen retention, but I'm just going to do a lot more with this. I'm using all of this semen retention in general to just create the greatest physique I've ever had in my life, because that's something I'm just truly passionate about. And also I'm truly passionate about just talking to a camera and just motivating in these every single video. I try to just put my heart into these and really just motivate the people who will listen to my journey and my past, and just take lessons from me and apply it to their own life. Maybe they can relate, maybe they can't, That's why I started off this video with saying, the things about short people. Because I'm short myself, and I've heard all this before, but I never let it, affect me. I never let it, cook my mindset of who I'm going to date or this or that. No, it's never affected me. I've been able to date whoever I kind of wanted to in my adult life. You have to realize that you are very much in your control of your reality. If you think oh, I'm too short for this, oh, I'm too, that's going to reflect into your reality. But if you think in a positive light and just don't even fixate or focus on it and just tell yourself, no, I'm handsome, I'm strong, and you're actually doing things to actually improve all that, then boom, it's not going to matter how tall you are, this or that, So you have to just maximize your potential in every single sort of way that you possibly can and become better and better and better. That is why we are here. We are here to evolve into just the best version of ourselves, to create this epic story for ourselves, so that we can be that human that did that shit, that human in that point in time that just got that shit done. People are going to talk about your story, yo, what the fuck was he on? What the fuck was he on in 2026, 2027, 2028? That motherfucker was just on some shit. Because I know where this shit goes. I know where it's going. And I'm never going to stop trying. Imagine if I just stopped trying. You know, at one point in my life, I gave up. I gave up on everything. I gave up on creating content. I gave up on myself. I didn't believe in myself anymore. But then I stopped being a fucking bitch. Got the fuck up and just started going again. And it was the hardest thing in my life. You know, I had to swallow my ego, my pride, you know. I had to go back to a 9-to-5 after having success in, you know, a business and all this stuff. And I just had to swallow my pride and just, you know, do the right things for myself to progress forward. You know, and I just kept going and going and going and grinding in the dark, you know, and the days were so just hard to get through when I had no self-belief, but I had to trick myself like I had all this self-belief. But now I'm at the point where I have so much self-belief and I know who I am again. You know, so if you're falling or you're falling in this moment in time, you have to realize that you can get at it, you can get after it, and you can get back up on your feet and just start going again and again and again and again. Like, you have to just keep on trying until that shit hits, until you just get that feeling back again. And the things that will help you is, you know, trying to get a better career, clearing your debt if you have any debt, working on your health and your fitness is very important. And then, you know, getting rid of your addictions at the same time. If you're addicted to anything, gambling, Cornhub, you know, all that sort of stuff, you know. That's why semen retention and fitness are the two pillars that you need to progress as a man, right? Once you can defeat lust and defeat, you know, the cravings of hunger and stuff like that, and man, you can do anything. You come to the realization that you can do anything. You can kick any bad habit and you can pick up any good habit and stick to it, you know? Just for the first time in your life, just stop bullshitting yourself. Stop going halfway in. Go all in with something you're passionate about. You have to be passionate about it, or else you're not going to be consistent with it. You have to have some sort of love for it, and it has to really just get you going in the morning. And for me, that's these videos and just, you know, training in general, training in the gym. Those are like my two loves, and like that just pushes me forward every single fucking day. And you just have to find that out for yourself. You know, it might be the same things as me. It might be ice skating, it might be singing, it might be whatever it is, whatever gets you out of bed in the morning. You have to find that thing and then hold on to it and just get better at it. Become the fucking best at it, okay? Give it your all and just be super consistent with it and get better with it every single day. Like, if you get a little bit better with it day after day after day, that's when you start to make progress. You know, I used to think, you know, especially when it came to like bulking up after cutting down and shedding all my fat off my body, I would start bulking up again. I would try to like speed run the bulk. Out of nowhere, I would just start eating everything in sight. You know, I wouldn't do it properly. You know, and that would just get me to a point where I felt fat, I was fat, and it demotivated me from bulking up and like pushing past my potential. But if you go little by little on a bulk, consistently, little by little, you just up your food week by week by week, and you properly do it, you will push way past your potential, and then you won't be demotivated, you know? So that applies to just everything in life. Start doing things little by little by little. And eventually you start to get to the point where those things just accumulate, and then, yeah, like out of nowhere, you you're at your dream physique, or you're better at playing the guitar, or you're better at this. You know more about psychology because you've been studying little by little by little. It's with anything in life. You want to learn, physics, quantum physics. Start with calculus and just train yourself little by little, problem solve, and do all that. And then eventually, over years and years and years of time, you'll be the type of person that is knowledgeable about that. Or if you want to learn a language, the same thing. Right? Stop trying to jump the gun and skip the line. Everyone's just trying to skip the line and just get ahead by just jumping over hurdles and then tripping over the hurdles because they've never even raced in their life before. When you can just start by jogging. And then eventually you can start sprinting and getting better at that. And then you could just jump over those hurdles and dominate the competition. If you understand the analogy I'm trying to say, So you just have to find out what you are, who you are. I'm telling you right now, if you go on semen retention, those first 90 days, I would say the first 60 days, will tell you who you're supposed to be and what your direction is. It will show you. It will show you your path. As long as you are trying and, trying to find your path within this process, it will show you your path. And then you'll get to 90 days, 100 days, and all that, and you just keep on going. And then it will help guide you along your path and help make you luckier, help make you this, that. But it will just help guide you along your path. Okay? So if you don't know what your path is, get off social media. Number one, get off social media. Because that is holding you back from your creative ideas. All your ideas are getting drained because you're just endlessly scrolling when you're supposed to be bored. You're supposed to be just in your mind playing like when you were a child. The same way, your imagination is supposed to grow, not die. It's supposed to grow as you get older. So why would you... That is the greatest thing that you have in this life. Your imagination, the ability to create. And then you get rid of all your attention and drain all your energy on these social media apps. And people will say oh, it's not that serious, it's not that deep. But it is. It is. You're not creative because of these fucking things. You have to come to that realization in order to actually evolve and actually get these creative ideas back and start having the ability to create again by giving all these things up. And you don't need these things. You don't need social media. You don't need to know what the fuck is going on in the news. You don't. Okay? If there's, some sort of war going on your front lines, you'll see. If it's that bad, you'll see it outside of your door. Otherwise, it doesn't fucking matter. And that's not to be I'm not saying if you're in war, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay? None of that shit, nothing that doesn't directly impact you, it doesn't matter. Okay? You don't have to be focused on any of this. You don't have to be focused on all these social media stars, all these celebrities, all these whatever the fuck. Stop caring so much about these people's lives and start caring about yours. That is when you start to unlock, what it was like to live back then, before all this social media shit. And then you can use social media to your advantage. We live in a time where you're supposed to use this as a tool to escape, your job or whatever the fuck it is. You can be creative as fuck on this media, okay? You can start just playing the guitar, start doing guitar covers, and blow up off that. Not even blow up, but have a fan base off of it. And start monetizing it and all this different sort of stuff, just by being creative, by being yourself. You can just talk to the camera, and if people are entertained or like you enough, then boom, you can create something from that. Why just, all these people's lives that you watch all the time, you can be just like them. They're normal people. You can be just like them, if not better, and do it in your own way and be real authentic with yourself. You don't gotta go down the Mr. Beast route. Everyone overthinks it. Everyone overthinks it. Just hop on camera, be yourself, and try to get better little by little by little. And you can start, maybe you're better on short form, start on TikTok, Instagram Reels, whatever it is. For me, I love the medium of long form content. That's really how I can get my creative ideas out. I've tried short form before, and I've been minorly successful on it, but it wasn't authentic to me. Like, I didn't care for it. But this, I love this. I love making these long videos, just trying to fire people up and motivate them. And, maybe they're listening to me at work or whatever, and it's getting them going for the day, maybe early in the morning or late at night, whatever it is. It's firing them up and getting them ready to go, and actually giving them some pretty good fucking advice for how to just become better, Because some people need this motivation. I used to need a lot of just to hear somebody that I could relate to just talking to me, because I felt like I didn't have too many people like that around me. So I had to, look up to David Goggins or Greg Plitt or whoever it was at the time, and listen to what they're saying and just get fired up by that, And I'm obviously nothing fucking compared to them. But if I could just motivate a couple people, that's fucking sick, And I don't care for people that hate, people that hate, whatever. It is what it is. No matter how good you do or how much good you do or how much bad you do, you're going to get hated on. So it doesn't matter. But the people who I'm firing up and motivating and, helping them just get shit done, that's who I make these fucking videos for. I'm still a motherfucker who works a 9 to 5, working my ass off 60 hours a week in a fucking hot ass warehouse, and I train every single day in the fucking gym and giving my fucking all every single fucking day. I mean, I love that shit. But, I'm just a normal fucking dude, just fired up about life. I see those corny ass videos of people fired up about life, and they're just smiling through it and all this stuff. And it's all like glitz and glamour. But that's not fucking real life. That's not realistic at all. I mean, maybe some people are just fucking chipper all the fucking time, but that ain't me. Man, I'm fucking angry all the time. I'm just ready to go. I'm fucking hungry. I don't want to deal with no bullshit. And that keeps me going. The anger motivates the fuck out of me to just keep on going and just keep on grinding shit out. No matter how bad shit gets, I'm just positively just going forward. But I'm not smiling through it all the time. It's not all glitz and glamour. It's rough as fuck. Life is rough as fuck. Okay? This is the misconception that I had at 18. I thought I knew it all. I didn't listen to anybody around me because they couldn't tell me shit. But that's the big misconception I had. I thought it was all sunshine and rainbows because I didn't go through no shit yet. And then after I gone through fucking everything, lost a bunch of money, lost in my business endeavors and fucking lost and fucked up relationships and all this sort of shit. After I came out the other side of that, I understood a little bit more. And then all of that though, it fucking hardened me. It was preparing me for war. It was preparing me for more. All of the bad shit that you go through, that you may be going through right now, it is all to prepare you for, the next step of the evolution. But you have to just push past that point. You have to truly try to become better and then get better. You have to get better. You have to do everything in your power to get better in every single sort of way. Because time will go by regardless. Time will just keep on going by. And you just have to realize that and use that to your advantage. You know, you should be trying to get more knowledgeable, trying to get more financially capable, trying to get stronger physically and mentally. So then when the time comes, you're ready to fucking raise a family. When the time comes, you're ready to take care of your girlfriend in the right ways, or your family, your parents, whatever it is. But you can become the leader that you may have never had. You know, for a lot of people, maybe they're, fatherless, or they feel abandoned by their father, or whatever it is. A lot of young men, you know, I definitely struggle with that. I'll be real fucking honest. I definitely struggle with that throughout my life. I'll make maybe a more in-depth video about that. But you're going to go through shit in life, and you just have to make the best of it. Understand that it's a fucking lesson at the end of the day. And if you fuck shit up, like, understand that you fucked it up and take it on the chin and don't fucking do it again. You know, especially when it comes to, like, hurting people. You know, if you hurt people, do not fucking do it again. That is probably the worst feeling that you can have. You know, if you have any sympathy for people. But regardless, just try to get better little by little. It will stack up over time, and you'll look back on your life, you'll look back on your younger years and be proud of everything that you did in order to get to where you wanted to be. You didn't make no excuses. You just got it the fuck done. And you just became a better person. So if you haven't started yet, just start now. Not even on semen retention. You don't even gotta do that if you don't want to, but just try to better your life. Try to become better. You know, get back up outside. You know, try to find a job. If you don't have a job right now, try to find a better job. If you don't like your job right now, whatever, just try to get better in every single way. And then that will make you proud, and that will make you happy, and that will push you forward for the next step of your life. I fucking love you guys, like always. You know, we're growing rapidly now. It's pretty fucking crazy. And I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the new subscribers, and I really hope that, you know, I'm motivating people here. I really hope that I'm helping people out. And, you know, I haven't done, the craziest shit with my life yet. You know, I'm just documenting the journey from the start. But I want to inspire you all to just do better, because that's what I'm trying to fucking do too. I love you guys like always. Stor.